my sister to be molested by her ex-husband.
What kind of mother would even think that's appropriate?
I just want to know why she let that predator around us.
We're going to bring your mom out here. Kathy, if you will, come on in. You saw him in the room on top of your daughter.
I didn't know exactly what I saw. I don't want you in my life anymore, Mom.
This is never, ever going to get better unless and until you are willing to acknowledge what happened to your daughter.
I did not know that the sexual abuse was going on.
Would you sit here and lie to me?
I did not stand behind a sexual molester.
These girls need something from you. If you don't want to be here, if they aren't worth it,
why would you even say that? These are my daughters.
Then act like a mother. Have you ever had someone do something so horrific and unimaginable that it just seems that it is unforgivable? Sisters Marita and Katrina say they have been suffering in silence for years, living an unforgivable nightmare.
My mother allowed me and my sister to be sexually molested by her ex-husband.
Inappropriate touching and sexual kissing, fondling.
He would kiss me inappropriately and touch me inappropriately.
There were nights that I would stay awake, trying not to go to sleep because I was afraid of him coming in. I remember going to bed fully clothed, even with my coat on.
My mother and her ex-husband would give us wine coolers during the day, and later on that night, they would watch soft porn with us.
I walked in on him naked, and I went to my mom, and I said, Mom, I walked in on him, and he was naked, and I remember her asking me, was it big?
My mother thought it was appropriate when we were developing to bring her husband into the bathroom and show our boobs to him because they had stretch marks.
What type of mother allows this to happen? Why didn't she stand up and say something? It's wrong.
Okay, now, let me say beginning, I'm really glad to meet both of you, but I'm very sorry for the circumstance. We're talking about something that happened to you from what age to what age?
I would say from like age 3 to age 13.
Okay, and for you it was what?
From what I remember, it was age 8.
On one occasion, for example, and I'm just picking some examples, my God, it just goes on what took place here. He came to your bed 3 times in one night trying to perform oral sex. And he kissed you passionately on a separate occasion in front of other family members, your mother. I mean, you tried to fight back. You tried to bite him even. How did he respond?
I just remember this horrible, evil laugh that he gave me, like I was reciprocating what he was doing. And then I was on top of the ceiling after that. Like, just, I guess it's kind of hard to understand, but like emotionally, it was like I just separated from myself and I was on top of the ceiling, just not, I guess that was my way of blacking it out.
Well, no, and you're exactly right. It's an out of body. You just kind of move away from it, so you're absent at that point. Now, y'all say he would sit around the apartment in his boxers with his penis out.
This part pisses me off a lot. What kind of mother would even think that's appropriate for the father of the children or boyfriend or stepfather to, or even a brother or whoever, just sitting around the house like that? It's extremely inappropriate, and when you're that young, you don't need to be seeing that kind of thing. Your mind doesn't need to be open to that. I mean, you're a kid. You're supposed to be enjoying your childhood.
With you, he kissed you, he fondled your breast, he did these things on a regular basis. This is weekend after weekend after weekend.
Yes. My mother, after it all came out, she would always blame the alcohol for what he did, but there was times where he did it when he was sober. My mother's always tried to make excuses for what he did.
Several excuses for what he's done.
How do you think this affected you going forward?
I don't even know how to answer it. Like, I want nothing to do with my mother anymore, just because I don't trust her. It's just affected my relationship with just with people my whole life. Like, if you can't trust your mother, who can you trust?
Well, we're talking about your mother and her role in all of this. It's been 16 years since their stepfather went to jail for what we're talking about here. He eventually was turned in, arrested, prosecuted, and spent time in jail. But Marita and Katrina say they can't move on until they understand why their mother allowed them to be abused almost their entire childhood. Take a look.
I feel like my mother served me on a platter to a predator.
I blame my mother. A good mother would do whatever she had to do to protect her kids.
When I think about the fact that my mother could have known about the abuse, it makes me so angry. How can you not protect your children? How are your children not the most important thing in the world to you?
During the court proceedings, my mother supported her ex-husband. She sat behind him in court with the Bible open, like she was praying for him.
During court, my mother had an outburst against me and my sister and said what we were doing wasn't right, that we shouldn't get revenge like this. She was yelling at us in open court. She made me apologize to this man on the phone for sending him to prison.
Why on earth would you want your daughters to apologize to the man that sexually molested you?
When he got out of jail, my mother thought that we were going to be one big happy family again.
I want a sincere apology from my mother. She needs to take responsibility for her own actions and realize that she had a hand to play in this too. She had a choice to make, and she chose him. She didn't choose us.
Now, despite the fact that Katrina and Marita say this went on their entire childhood, Mother Kathy says she knew nothing about the abuse and says she's just as much a victim as her daughters.
My daughters have a lot of anger towards me. I know that their anger's misdirected because Don's not here. I feel it all the time. It is a lifetime of being punished. If my kids would have come to me and told me, Mom, Don's touching us, don't think for a second that he wouldn't have been out the door. One night, I got up and I glanced at Katrina's room, and what I thought that I saw was Don on top of Katrina. But when he lifted his head, what I saw was pure evil. It didn't even look like him, and it totally stunned me. So I walked to the kitchen. I was so frightened. I started praying. I walked back to the bedroom. He wasn't there anymore. I was convinced at that time that it was a nightmare. I knew he loved the girls. He was an awesome father. In my mind, he destroyed my relationship with my children. I realize it's nothing that I'm ever going to get back the way that it used to be, and that's what hurts so much, because in my heart I felt like I was a really good mother to him. I want my babies back.
Now, you all became very agitated as you watched that tape. Tell me what you're thinking, Marita. What's going through your mind right now?
She wouldn't have pushed him out the door. She would have tried to sweep it under the rug. And he was in no way a good father. I mean, what the hell?
She can sit there and say that she would have kicked him out the door all she wants to, but it came out and she stood by him.
She lived with him.
So she can sit there and she can lie, but her actions speak a lot louder than her words.
One time when she came over before we were supposed to go to school, this was a school day, picked up the phone and said, apologize to him. I mean, what the hell? We were kids getting ready to go to school.
She wanted you to apologize to him.
She was only concerned about herself. She wanted what she wanted. She wanted to have this pretend happy life. If that were my kids, I'd be out the door in a homeless shelter with my kids if I had to. I would do whatever it took to make sure they were safe.
Well, you know we're going to bring your mom out here.
I kind of don't want you to.
Your mother out here. We're going to talk to her. You know you need to do that, right?
She just doesn't get it. How do you not get it after 16 years?
Well, we need to ask her those questions. All right. We're going to hear more of what Kathy has to say when these sisters confront their mother. We're going to do that right after the break. Do you know that these girls have been molested?
No.
You don't think you helped him by giving us alcohol and watching soft porn in front of us? Are you freaking kidding me?
Friday on an all-new Dr. Phil. They marry foreign women.
David treat me like the slave.
Are they abusing their mail-order brides?
You think that I'm just an evil person?
You can be very overbearing.
Tell me something that really can help. Come on.
I will as soon as you stop talking.
Or are their brides taking advantage of them?
Everybody thinking, yeah, like she's going to be with him.
No offense, but you look like my former wife.
That's Friday.
When I'm around my girls, I trigger bad memories.
She just had this smell about her, and it's always been like the same smell since I was a kid, and just smelling that, it just upsets my stomach.
When I look at my mom, I'm constantly reminded of what she didn't do for me. She took the side of the man who molested me and my sister.
When I look at her, I just want to know why she let that predator around us. I hate the way it makes me feel when I'm around her.
Well, Marita and her sister Katrina blame their mother, Kathy, for not stopping the years of sexual abuse they endured at the hands of their stepfather. Now, this isn't just their side of the story in terms of what he's done. He has been convicted of this. He has spent time in jail. Their problem at this point is with their mother, and she's joining us now. So, Kathy, if you will, come on out. Sit right here if you would.
I can't get up.
You've been watching the show up until this point, correct?
Yeah.
What do you have to say about all of this?
No matter what happens on this stage today, when you two walk off the stage, you do remember that I am your mother. And for everything that I've done wrong to you in my life, in my heart, I am so sorry. But I want you girls to always remember that I know that you're going to be good mothers, no matter what anybody says to you.
Yeah, you're right. I am a good mother, and I would never, ever let my child go through that. I would always be by his side. You left us. You chose his side, and that is messed up. That is completely messed up.
That's what you're not getting. It's what he did is what he did. Should you have recognized the signs? Yes. But that's not solely why I'm here.
Just ask me one question at a time. I'm overwhelmed by too much. Just ask me one thing at a time.
Did you know about the abuse?
I didn't know about the abuse, no, and that's not meant to be said. I've heard what you said, okay? So let's not put it liar to liar or whatever. Let's talk about this.
I know I'm not a liar.
Well, let's just talk about it. Katrina, let's talk about it. You're already on the defense. If you're on defense, we can't talk about it. Get through.
I just heard what you said. If you knew what he was doing, you would have kicked him out? Are you serious? The whole trial, you lived with him.
Okay, just go ahead.
Well, look, is that true or is it not true? You listen, you are their mother, and you owe it to them to plug in here and have this conversation. You do. You don't just dismiss them. They say, well, okay, fine. These girls, do you realize, forget about for a minute whether you knew about it or whether you didn't. Do you know that these girls have been molested?
No, the things that you guys said to me was sickening. I never seen him sitting around the apartment with his thing hanging out of his boxers.
He did it all the time.
Then he was the opposite way when I walked in the room. I have never seen him do that, and I'm not taking his part.
You already took his side.
No, no. And see, this is what you don't understand. When I talk to you and say that one thing is one way, if he was smart as a sexual abuser, he's not going to do that in front of me.
Okay, did you
These guys are smart. These guys are extremely smart.
And you don't think you helped him by giving us alcohol and watching soft porn in front of us?
Excuse me. I did. And I remember I did watch the Red Shoe Diaries. I did like that movie.
And you watched it in front of us. Do you think it was appropriate for children to see that?
I didn't think it went into... Did it go into a lot of...
Yes, it did. Okay. Are you freaking kidding me?
Excuse me.
Did you give them wine coolers when they were like 8, 9, 10 years old?
Yes, you did.
I did give wine coolers. It was good for the bowels. You had irritable bowels.
Okay, yeah, it's great for the freaking bowels.
But
That's
it
great.
didn't work out one night because it went phooey, and I had to take you to the hospital.
Oh, I don't remember you taking me to the hospital for
I
anything.
am guilty of that. Yes, sir, I am.
What I want to know, let's just talk about what you agree happened. You agree that you saw Dawn laying on top of one of the girls one night, and you did nothing about it. You said you thought you were dreaming.
Okay. Well,
you admitted to that, right?
I did admit to that. Now,
Can I ask you something, Mom?
yes.
Why were you waiting on us to come tell you? Why didn't you, if you saw that night, why didn't you come to us and say, hey, is this happening? Is that happening?
I did come to you
girls.
No, you
didn't.
I went to you girls, and I went to him. Now, I'm going to tell you flat out, okay? What I thought that I seen that night was him on top of you. But when he raised his head, it didn't look like him. It looked like it was something that was so damn hideous that it didn't even look like him.
Really? It was dark, Mom.
Sorry about the word. No,
but let me ask you something.
No, I'm serious.
Okay, I'm serious, too. You have no idea how serious I am. I am curious, if you open the door to one of your daughter's bedrooms...
The door was open.
You look through an open door into your daughter's bedroom, and you see your husband laying on top of her, and he turns and looks at you with some hideous, monstrous look on his face, and you turn and walk away?
I've taken this for years.
You've taken this for years. You need to take it for years. You should have freaking been arrested for your part in this. And I am so sick of you sitting here playing the victim. I don't want you in my life anymore, Mom.
You see your husband laying on top of her, and he turns and looks at you with some hideous, monstrous look on his face, and you turn and walk away?
No, I stepped to the kitchen. The kitchen was 4 or 5 feet away, and I stopped and I prayed.
Oh, yeah, because that's going to make it all better. That's really going to make it all better, Mom.
Did you think about flipping the light on and saying, what the hell are you doing?
I went back to the room. When I went back to the room, he wasn't there.
And you just let it...
I prayed.
And you just let it go.
No,
yeah, Mom, praying is going to stop the abuse.
Excuse me.
No, excuse me.
Oh, okay, Trina, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Seriously. I've taken this for years.
You've taken this for years. You need to take it for years. You let us be abused, Mom. You let us be abused. You knowingly watched porn in front of us. You should have freaking been arrested for your part in this. You are also a victimizer in this. And I am so sick of you sitting here playing the victim. Oh, I've taken this for years. I don't want you in my life anymore, Mom. I don't want you around me. I don't want you around my family. I don't want you around my child.
Okay. I want to go back to a question I asked you. I said, do you get and accept and acknowledge that these girls have been sexually molested? And you said no.
I said no, yes. And
so you don't believe that they were molested?
I'm not saying I don't believe they were molested.
You just said you don't believe it.
No. Will you guys stop?
No.
Mom,
I'm trying to answer your questions, and you guys are coming at me like you're in war.
She's in a different place right now than what I am. So she's angry. She just had her first child, and this has triggered everything for her, all of the past. I've had 2 kids, so I've gone through this, and I can tell you what she's feeling, it's okay, and it's normal. And I can also tell you that what you're doing, I appreciate you standing up and being honest, finally, because I've asked...
I don't have anything to hide, kids.
But
I put it all up front.
You've never admitted to alcohol. You've denied it to me all these years. Now you're being honest. So I can...
yeah, I don't want to get put in jail because I give you guys...
Okay, wait, so...
I'm serious, and that's why I didn't
look, I don't see anything funny about this at all.
I'm not laughing, Dr.
Actually,
Phil.
you are. I don't see anything funny about this at all.
I am very upset.
Look, I'm wanting to help you guys, and this is never, ever going to get better unless and until you are willing to acknowledge what happened to your daughters. He was tried for it. He was convicted for it. During the trial, you let him continue to live with you?
That is true.
Did you sit behind him in trial?
Yes, I did.
Did you make a statement in court, quote, I just love all 3 of them, the 2 girls and him. I want this man to go on and live a normal life. I feel more victimized than anybody in this room.
Okay. Now,
That's from the court record.
I can explain that. Okay, but let's try and get something calmed down here, okay? I listened to everything before I walked on stage. I wanted to turn around and walk out. And the reason why I did is that you two aren't the only ones that suffered through all this.
Oh, really?
But
Mom, you lost a
we
husband.
suffered in different ways.
Okay, I'm so sick of
this man took away from me the only things that were the most important things in my life.
Because you were on his side throughout the trial, Mom. You stood behind him, you made that comment, and he took that away. You took that away for yourself.
I loved all you guys. I didn't want to see you guys put him in jail for 10 years. You'd be in jail in your mind
He needed to be in jail for 10 years.
In your minds, you'd be in jail. Wait for the day for him to get out. Then you deal with it. I wanted you to deal with it now.
Oh, how? By being around him, you want us to be one big happy family?
You wouldn't do counseling. You refused to do counseling.
You took us out of
counseling. And it was hard to go to counseling and talk about the details and the specifics, just like it is now. But your role as our mother was to step up and do what's best for your children, not the opposite.
That's fine. I understand.
I'm still back at square one here. You still do not believe that these girls were molested.
I kept asking you kids, you know, what's going on?
Taking us in the bathroom and showing him our breasts and stuff? You did that, Mother.
Did not.
You still do not believe that these
He tries to fade away, and he remains the same. It's the same old song, written surrounding the rain. We stand before the sun. I feel my heart beating, and the need to give in. But
were molested. So you think he was falsely accused?
No. I believe what my children say. If these children say that they were molested, yeah, I believe it. But did I see this going on? No.
Did you see him kiss your daughter passionately in front of you and say...
Yes, and I sent her to the room.
Oh, Don was her fault, right?
No,
you should have kicked him out the damn apartment.
Did you say to him, why don't you kiss me that way?
So the alcohol's an excuse.
Did you say, at that time, did you say to him, why don't you kiss me that way?
Yeah, sarcastically. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You know?
You swept it all under the rug and did nothing. Do you not see that?
I kept asking you kids, you know, what's going on? Why is he doing this?
Taking us in the bathroom and showing him our breasts and stuff? You did that, Mother.
Did not. Did I do that?
When we were developed, Mom, we were like 12 or 13, and you took us in the bathroom one by one, and you showed him our breasts because there were stretch marks on them. Don't you sit here and lie to me.
I don't remember that. I don't remember.
Of course not.
Okay, you were drunk, but it happened. Let's just say you were drunk and you don't remember, but it happened.
I honestly don't remember.
So everything that you did made it seem like what he was doing was okay.
Listen, I'm asking you some questions here because maybe a light bulb needs to come on over your head, but I know this. Until you acknowledge what happened and your role in this through action or inaction, you're not ever going to move forward in this situation.
And I realize that. I mean, if I did something like that, it was because I was worried medically about something and asked him to come in and look at it. It wouldn't have been something nasty.
Okay, but there are things that are just, they're overwhelming, and they want to know why. Were you a terrible drunk at the time? I don't know. I didn't know you then. No, I only know you now. Because Marita says that she walked in on Don naked. He refused to put clothes on, and all you asked was, when she told you, was his penis big?
Not in those words. You said, was it big?
I was just trying to comfort her and kind of...
Really? That's great comfort.
So,
well, you know...
Wait. So you're admitting that
God, crucify me today, will you?
That'd be great.
You know, I prayed before I come on the show that God would give us the words to speak together today because I want nothing more than to get this behind us.
Okay, then make eye contact with me. Hold on a second. Make eye contact with me. Forget about everything else.
I can handle it.
If you aren't willing to acknowledge what happened here and your role in it, then they are stuck with you invalidating them.
You ask me all the questions that they want to hear. Because as long as my daughters are sitting there yelling and being confrontational with me, it's not going to work.
I am asking you the questions. And you deflect and evade. You say that you saw him in the room on top of your daughter. You did nothing about it.
I didn't. I didn't know exactly what I saw. My God, it looked like a damn nightmare. If you walk past something that looks so evil when it lifts its head, you don't know what you see. It scared the hell out of me.
If that was my kid, I would be flipping on the light to see what the hell was going on.
I prayed about it, and I asked Father, I said, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. I don't know what I just seen. He might be abusing my daughter. Is it what I seen? And when I went back, I went back to see, he wasn't there. But I did not know that when I was standing in the doorway, and I didn't know he went from that side of the bed and was sitting on the end of her bed. I did not know that.
You saw that?
No, you told me that he was sitting on the end of the bed that night because we were trying to figure out what was going on.
This is a totally different situation. It's totally different memories that you're talking about.
Okay, hold on.
This is one incident, but you might have been talking about something else. That's why we're here.
Let me ask you this. What was the logic in having this man sleep in the bed with your two daughters?
to get on the phone and apologize to him for going to jail.
Under what theory do these victims have to apologize to their abuser? Let me ask you this. What was the logic in having this man sleep in the bed with your two daughters?
He loved the kids as much as I did. I trusted him. The wrong thing I should have done. I trusted the man.
It's not appropriate.
I always loved laying down with my kids, and we'd lay down with them until they went to sleep, and then we'd go to bed.
No, you wouldn't. You'd stay in there all damn night.
If I fell asleep, maybe.
But you let this man, even after you see something you're not sure what it is,
that was way
even
before,
after they're saying
way
to, this goes
that.
on for years. Why are you letting this man sleep in the bed with your daughter?
It was way before
in
this.
Retrospect,
You're trying to put the situation back then.
In
what
retrospect,
I saw it had nothing to do with back then.
In retrospect, was it... appropriate to let this man sleep in the bed with your daughters?
At this given time, I would say it was very inappropriate.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I apologize for that. My God, I thought I could trust the guy. He seemed like he loved you kids so much, and I was convinced he was a great guy. The son of a bitch, I'd like to just, I wish God would just strike him dead for what he's done to us. I just really do. And every day I pray. I pray every day that people like him, my God, I hope you don't forgive him in the last days. I couldn't handle that.
Mom, all you do is cry and try to be the victim.
Excuse me.
That's all you do. This isn't about you. This is about us getting closure. This is about what you did to us. Like I said, you had the opportunity to, freaking shoot him in the face, but you just stood behind him in court.
I didn't have a gun. I didn't have a gun. I would have shot the sucker. I
really?
swear
You
to
would have shot him, but you loved him so much. You didn't want him to go to jail for 10 years.
I at least knew where he was while you children were there.
You don't think Dad would have protected us?
Postponing the trial.
You don't think our father would have protected us?
You said that you needed, in order for you to have closure, you needed to have the details of what happened.
I tried to get the details.
Us.
Went to counseling.
But, no, the detail. You wanted us to give you the details of what he did to us.
Marita, I have no idea what happened in that apartment of the sexual abuse. There was only a couple of issues that
They're telling you now. They're telling you today. Did you? They've said something that really bothered me. Did you ask them to get on the phone and apologize to him?
he was to apologize
No,
to
that's
them.
not what you said.
That is
You
not
had a
what you
restraining
said.
order placed against you at the time. You waited for our dad to leave for work. You came over and you dialed his number and you told us to get on the phone and apologize to him for going to jail.
That's what my psychologist, or that I was seeing, says it was a flashbulb memory. I remember where everybody was. I remember the whole situation, and I remember cussing you up one end and out the other and telling you I was not getting on that phone. And I told her not to get on the phone either.
I think back then with everybody apologizing to each other, and that's what I wanted.
What?
Really,
Wait,
that's
wait a minute.
how we
Situation
could put
okay.
it back together.
All right, but now wait a minute here.
They took it away.
Under what theory do these victims of ongoing malicious molestation have to apologize to their abuser? In what world does that make any kind of sense?
Maybe I thought everything could just go away and everything would be good.
And,
if they just, everybody just said they were sorry.
Everyone's going to say they're sorry and everything's going to be perfectly fine.
So they were to say,
are not accountable for anything he did, if that's what you're asking.
So they were to say to him, I'm sorry for you molesting me and getting in trouble for it. What was the apology going to be from them to him? What was it they were apologizing for?
I don't know. Oh, my God, I don't know. I think in my mind that...
Were you just scared because you didn't have anybody else to rely on financially? Was that what it was?
I've always been afraid to be alone.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what it is. In my heart, I was hoping that maybe if everybody just apologized and said, you know, anything, that God might give me my children and my husband back. I don't know what he did to you kids. I have no idea.
Does it matter? Does it matter what he did to us?
Does.
No, he sexually molested us. That's all you freaking need to know.
Katrina, I was right there in the apartment.
Yeah, you were right there. You should have freaking known.
Hey, Mom, I know this is hard for you to be here too, and I just...
Are you serious?
I just want to know.
Can I speak? Can I speak?
No.
I know it's hard for you to be here, and I just want to say thank you for at least coming on the show and doing this with us. But what Katrina's saying is true. It's like whenever we try to talk about this, it's always you. It's all about you.
What do you need from your mother?
Some of it she's already given me by finally being honest about some of the things.
Let me tell you why you're here. If you don't want to be here, then excuse yourself.
Why would you even say that to a mother? How dare you say that? These are my daughters.
Then act like a mother. Let me tell you why you're here. Because these girls need something from their mother. You are still their mother. And they need something from you. They need to know that you get the fact that something terrible happened to them and that you did not protect them. Maybe you did the best you could at the time. I get the feeling that sometimes you kind of have a fantasy version of how you want things to be. Everybody just apologize to everybody and then we'll all be okay.
Back then,
You're here because these girls need something from you. And if you don't want to be here, if they aren't worth it, if you don't want to put the effort in, then excuse yourself.
Why would you even say that to a mother? How dare you say that?
How dare I say that?
Yeah, how dare you say that?
Say
These are my daughters.
Then act like a mother.
I'm trying.
Then act like a mother. They need something from you. They need something from you.
Well, then let's start talking about it instead of yelling. We're not getting anywhere yelling.
I think you're the only one yelling. They need something from you.
Then ask me, please. Ask me. Anything you want to ask me, ask me. Anything. Just come on. Just ask me.
You've hurt me, but I still love you.
Oh, I know. 3 days from now, you're going to be calling me on the phone and saying, Mom.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Well, let me try and put it up front for you. Okay? Whenever things go on like this, it's just... Whenever bad happens, there's always something that goes along with it. There's God and there's Satan. Satan has the opportunity to come in and just tear everything apart. Now, you stop and listen to me. I know for a fact that Satan was involved in this.
No, I don't think that's true.
But the only thing I want to know
is that you're just looking for... No, you stop. You're just looking for any excuse you can to blame anything but you.
You let me talk.
I don't have to let you do anything, Mom.
Okay, then why am I here?
I don't know. Rita needs closure. That's why you're here.
Well, then give me a chance to talk.
Go ahead.
I did not know that the sexual abuse was going on, and I'm only going to tell you that one last time.
Okay,
you believe what you want to believe.
You just admitted that you saw him on top of me, and then you just went to the kitchen and prayed. Like, oh, God, I think my daughter's being molested. Why didn't you come in and save me?
You may not have known. I'll give you that much. You may not have known, but...
No, you are insane.
Can you let me talk, sis? I love you, but let me talk. You may not have known for sure, but you had an idea something was not right. And even
I walked back to your room.
Okay, you let me talk too. My turn. You got to talk.
Okay.
You had an idea. When you're a mother and you have just an idea that there's something wrong, it is your job to stand up and protect your kids, even if it's only an idea.
All right. When I walked back to your room, you kids were sleeping in that bed. Now, I've been trying to talk to you about this, and I told you what I knew. You told me when I entered that room that you kids were not sleeping, but I'm standing there and you kids are sleeping peacefully in your beds. That's what I see.
That's what we did every night. We pretended to be sleeping in bed, even though we're awake, because we wanted to make sure we could hold our legs really, really tightly so we couldn't open them or something like that.
God.
So I'm
sick.
Yeah, sick now, but you stood behind him, huh? Great, Mom. Great.
You need to put that behind you. No, I did not stand behind a sexual molester.
It was in court, Mom.
It was in court. You had a choice. You could stand on the plaintiff's side or the defendant's side.
We needed you as children, and you chose him.
I was as guilty as he was in in their eyes.
You
I knew that I was going to be
prosecuted, and you needed to go to jail for giving us alcohol and watching soft porn. You basically let him know that what he was doing to us was okay with your actions.
It was not.
Well, you let everybody think that it was, Mom. Let's just apologize and say that everything's okay.
No, you're not. And you know this is exactly right. A molester comes into your home, he rips it apart, he walks away, and you let him. The woman stands. And I've stood for years.
Most women kick the guy out. They don't let him stay there. They don't try to bring their children back in the house.
Why? You guys tell me why. After this happened and I come to you and you say no, I go to him and he says no.
Because your actions made it seem like it was okay.
Hold on.
I felt filthy inside.
Well, good, Mom.
Hold on. Because when you're when you're a child, how in God's name are you supposed to express that in words?
You went to a friend and told your friend's mother went to your father.
Yeah, and our dad did what he's supposed to by coming and getting us and protecting us. Something that you couldn't do.
If I didn't know about the abuse, I never would have
about it.
I couldn't prove it. I couldn't prove it. When I went back and looked, he wasn't in your damn room.
But you said that you did see him on top of me, and yet you just walked away.
That's what I swear to God I saw.
Okay, well, why didn't you turn on the light and be like, what the hell is going on? Instead of just walking away and going, oh, God, please protect my child, because I'm too freaking stubborn to leave my husband because I'm afraid of everything.
God gives people choices. They can choose good and they can choose evil. He chose evil. He was not possessed. He chose to do what he did.
If Don was possessed that night, there wouldn't have been anything that anybody could have done.
Oh, my God.
And a lot of people may not believe that, but I'm telling you right now that it does exist.
Okay, let me... I've been letting you guys talk because I felt like you needed to say what you said. And that you need to say what you said. Now, I'm going to try to bring some order to this.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, the emotional conclusion to forgiving the unforgivable.
You've denied the alcohol, you denied the porn, you've denied everything.
A family breaking apart.
In this moment, you understand that your daughters were molested.
I dropped the ball. I didn't see the guy that way.
From a breakdown.
What do you think I feel every day? I feel shame. It is my fault.
To a breakthrough.
I wasn't the best mother there ever was in the world, but I thought at least I had a mother instinct. Oh, God, forgive me.
Plus,
he told me that he lived in England and that I was the love of his life.
She met the perfect man on Facebook.
You're talking about marriage and a future before you've ever even looked the boy in the eye?
But 10 months later,
I was starting to have a bad feeling about all this.
the truth came out.
It just hit me like a ton of bricks. He was engaged with 5 kids.
He is a gutless cheater.
I needed to know why he did this to me.
I know this is painful for you.
Now,
I sent Leslie 5,000 miles in search of this man.
she confronts her betrayer.
There is potential danger here because we don't know how he's going to react.
This is it up here on the left.
I'm very nervous all of a sudden. He's coming.
Tomorrow.
Well, we are out of time. The confrontation with sisters Katrina and Marita and their mother Kathy becomes even more heated. And our cameras kept rolling as I tried to get Kathy to acknowledge her daughter's suffering. And you'll see a surprising conclusion.